Ellen McCauley at Pray It Off in Syracuse, New York on October 30th, 2024. Oh, 2025. I subtracted a whole year there. You know, one of the things I want to talk about tonight is progress, because we have 6 weeks left, and a lot of people are ready to throw in the towel. They're thinking, you know what? It's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, it's cookies, it's all that stuff. I'm just going to wait till January. And what I want to say is any amount of progress you can make in these next 6 weeks, even if it doesn't show up on the scale immediately. Like one of the members said that she had a couple of friends who have noticed her weight loss kit. She's lost over 40 pounds, and they have said, wow, what are you doing? She goes, well, Ellen kept saying eat more protein, and I finally started eating more protein. And her friends wanted to know more about it, so I give everyone the packet every week in email. So she printed out a couple of the packets for her friends. So that's progress for her, and it's progress for them. And you know, the week of 10/23, last Thursday, it wasn't a good week. And again, it wasn't a holiday. It wasn't Halloween. It wasn't Thanksgiving. It wasn't everyone's birthday in the entire group. No, not everyone was born on the same day. But we gained 32 pounds that week. And I'm looking at it, and a lot of people write in the margins, really stressed. I'm out of control. I'm just not with it. And you know, I want to say that if we look at when we think we're out of control, we have to stop for a second and say, am I out of control like I was before I joined Pray It Off? Or am I out of control the way I am now? Because I'm telling you something, the pre-Pray It Off Ellen McCauley, when she was out of control, she was out of control. And if I'm out of control now, I'm nowhere near. So that's progress. It's not perfection, but it's progress, okay? And we are still trying. Every time we say, I don't want to go to Pray It Off, and we haul our fannies here, that's progress. That is progress, okay? And you know, I'm a big proponent of the 12-step programs, because they always say you can't do anything without a higher power. You cannot do anything. And we name our higher power. Our higher power is God the Father, Jesus Christ, and the Holy Spirit. We name our higher power. And that is so much of Pray It Off is based on my experience with 12 steps and my experience with Weight Watchers. You know, the food log is a Weight Watchers, the higher powers, 12 steps. And one of the mottos of Alcoholics Anonymous, which is the premier 12-step program, is progress, not perfection. And practice makes perfect. We keep coming. We do it okay. Kid will tell you, she didn't do good her first few sessions, but then it kicked in. Mary Ellen will tell you, she didn't do good her first few years, but then it kicked in. You know, I've hit a plateau the past few years. Did I quit? No. I'm still trying to learn and grow, as we all are together. And you know, no one among us is able to maintain anything perfectly. You want to. And I find that so many of us in the group are perfect in certain areas of our life. Like I was a really good worker. You know, you want someone to do your job at work? Oh, I was. But then you get stressed out and you come home and you're like, I think I'll just eat a pizza. You know? So you're so perfect in certain areas of your life that you don't take care of yourself because you're so stressed out. And one of the members of the group is affected by the government shutdown. Her office is, and she's doing the work of like 3 or 4 people. And I actually had a dream about her. And God said to tell her, in my dream, to just concentrate on doing her job. And do it the best she can. And she doesn't need to live with that kind of stress, because she's too good of a person. She just needs to go forward. We need to do the best we can. Progress, not perfection. And that's true in weight loss too. Now, when you're an alcoholic, progress doesn't mean I only drank a 6-pack instead of a 12-pack. Because in Alcoholics Anonymous, you cannot drink at all. Now, the problem with having an eating problem is we have to eat to survive. So progress, not perfection, is if we want 3 cookies and we only have 1, that's progress, okay? Or if you have none and have an apple, that's almost perfection, I think, okay? And the most important thing is if we try our best. Now, there are days where you're going to go to bed at night and say, you know what? I didn't try my best at being healthy today, but I did try my best at work, and I did try my best at being a good mother, and I did try my best at being a good friend. And it's important to try your best at those things too. But if we continually don't try our best to take care of ourselves, we're not going to be there at work or to help our friends or to help other people. We're the ones that are going to they're going to help us, because we need to take care of ourselves. So many of us just feel overwhelmed by life. I started watching the news again. Sometimes I have to take a news break. I do. And now I felt psychologically ready to start watching the news because God put on my heart that I need to pray about the world, pray about the news. So I've been watching it, and I try not to get overwhelmed by it. I try not to get overwhelmed by some of the things I have going on in my life. That's why I modified my wreath goal from 6,000 the first year. That's perfection. To 2,000. That's progress. And I've modified that sort of thing. And I'd love to lose, 20 pounds this session, but I wrote down 10, and I'm working towards that. And you know what's interesting? So many of us, if we can't do something perfectly, we think, why bother at all? I blew my diet and had a donut for breakfast, so I'm having pizza for lunch, wings for dinner, and ice cream for dessert. Right? I blew it already. Instead of saying, well, I had that donut for breakfast, I'm going to take a walk now, and I'm going to have a salad for lunch and chicken for dinner. Whoa. Let's think about that. One of the things about procrastination is if we procrastinate, we'll be always the same. We won't be concentrated. And a lot of us are perfectionists in this group. And a lot of times people think if you're overweight, you're sloppy, you're fat, you're lazy, you don't care about things. We care about everything. We care about everybody. We care too much that we end up being overwhelmed and stressed. And it's funny, when you are a perfectionist, you gotta sometimes say, what I'm doing is enough. What I'm doing is okay. I don't have to over-exceed. And it always reminds me of the story of our daughter. It was her good friend's birthday. And of course she procrastinated. So she says to me, she's on her way over. I didn't get her a card and I didn't get her a present. I said, no problem. All right, I've got cards. And she said, do you have a card that says, to my best friend? I'm like, no, but I got a really nice card. Look at it. It's beautiful. It's just this happy birthday. You're very special to me. She's like, well, I really wanted to get her a card that said, to my best friend. I'm like, well, this one's really nice. And I said, and I've got this beautiful sterling silver bracelet. I had all these like Bath and Body creams. I said, I'll put together a little basket. We can do this. She goes, I really wanted to give her something special. I go, I can appreciate that, but she's on her way here. So why don't we give her something really nice? She ended up giving her nothing because it wasn't what she wanted to give her. And somebody out there in the audience might say, well, I understand that. To me, I said to her, you can write, you're my best friend in the card. You're the best friend I ever had in my life, and I would live and die for you. You can say whatever you want in the card. That's what a pen's for. She gave her no card and no gift because it wasn't what she envisioned. And what she envisioned, she procrastinated so long she didn't do. So to me, I think that says something about us all. We want to join Pray It Off and lose 20 pounds, and we envision that it's going to be easy. We just maybe give up 1 cookie, we're going to lose 5 pounds that week. And it's a little harder than we thought. So we're just like, well, if it can't be perfect, I don't want to do it at all. And some people quit over that. One person joined the group this time, and she had left rather unceremoniously. One time she joined, and I called her a couple times, never heard from her, and she just joined again, which is fine. And I got a hold of her. I said, did you quit again? And she goes, I thought it would be easier this time, but it's not. It's not easy. Did I ever stand up here and say to you all, this is easy? It's not. But if we're making progress, it's important. If you say to yourself, I'm fat, I'll always be fat, I can't lose weight because I have no self-control, I'm a failure, I hate my body, why do I even bother, I can never get my stuff together and actually commit to anything. Now, I won't call on you, but did any of you ever have any of those thoughts in your entire life? Oh, yeah. Instead, the new attitude is, you know what, I am overweight. And I've struggled with my weight, but with God's help, with God, and I even said to the doctor today, I said, I used to say God's my co-pilot, but now I say he's my pilot because I tried driving the plane myself and I wasn't very good at it. And he goes, can I use that? I said, yes. Here he's this young, handsome guy and I'm witnessing to him in my own way. That's where you'll witness. You don't have to get on a corner just with your regular life. Okay. Also, I always remember the Olympians. The Olympians don't say, I want to win a gold medal and run around the block and say, okay, I'm ready. They practice for years and years and years, okay? Failure is just a tool for learning. It's not about being perfect. It's about learning and getting back up every time you fall. Now, if you say I'm fat and I'll always be fat, I may not be where I want to be right now, but I'm going to make veggies and dip, hummus, and have it on hand to snack instead of potato chips. If you have a bad thought, you face it with an action plan. You say, you know what, there's 6 weeks left and pray it off. I bet you I could lose 3 pounds in those 6 weeks. That's a half a pound a week. And I'm going to do that by kicking up the exercise, and you got to have a battle plan to do that. I stay focused on doing what makes my body feel good, what gives me real energy, and what keeps my mood balanced and move towards that. Doesn't that sound good? What makes me feel good? You know, one person joined the group and she really wasn't what I consider overweight, but she had like 20 pounds that really bothered her and she wanted to get rid of them. And she says she feels better, she looks better. You have to do what makes you feel better. Take a deep breath, be good to yourself, and simply focus on the small changes and corrections you can make right now. Eventually, those small changes will add up, and you'll be enjoying a magnificently healthy bod and all the perks that go with it. I'm going to stop right there, Bobby.